Thank you both for being here. I've got a question about the NDS. Three quick questions. Before I get to the two on the NDS, Admiral, to finish up on what Senator Shaheen was talking about, and before I do that, I would be remiss as a member of the Senate not to apologize to both of you, combatant commanders, on behalf of the United States Senate. Today, we're officially sitting in a continuing resolution again. And you have my personal commitment and resolve that before I leave the United States Senate, we're going to do everything we can to get away from this budget process that puts us in this detrimental, high-risk situation. We're doing more to harm the security of our country than any of these people we're talking about today outside. Sorry. Admiral, real quick, you've talked, and General Kelly talked about this too, but you've talked about there is an asset that you could use in your AOR to actually interdict more. We don't know what percentage we can get to, I understand that, but you could close that gap without spending a lot of money. Is that true?
I think there's some platforms out there that would be enormously helpful to us. Yes, sir.
So what would one of those look like?
I think Littoral Combat Ship would fit perfectly into the mission space that we are
rotary wing
working
capability
in.
As well?
Absolutely. It's a package. It's a vessel that's capable of operating in the Eastern Pacific with rotary wing, with interceptor boats as a package, coupled with maritime patrol aircraft.
Thank you. In Latin America, Russia today is supplying 40% of the arms sales. China is the second largest trading partner in Latin America. Iran is in there through Hezbollah. The question I have is the NDS is pivoting toward near-peer competitors. Heretofore, when our mission in the last 15 to 17 years was mainly about terrorism, you were underfunded in SOUTHCOM because we were pushing resources out to the battle. Today, the battle looks like it's getting closer and closer to home. Are you being resourced in order to support the NDS? And is the NDS focusing enough on greater power threats, peer power threats in our own hemisphere?
Not yet. The NDS recognizes these challenging nations, and I think we must move beyond applying resources to the home zip code of where those specific countries are and apply the resources to be able to deal with them wherever they're found across the globe.
General, thank you for being here again, and thank you for being on the wall. The Arctic. China, just last month, issued a statement. Russia has been actively building resources in the Arctic. We see sorties or whatever in the Arctic region increasing at an exponential rate. And yet I think, Admiral may be able to answer, I'm sure you can too, but I don't know how many icebreakers we technically have. We don't have very many. I think China or Russia has a multiple of. So can you talk about the threats in the Arctic? Are they increasing? What is Russia and China's strategy? And you updated us, or you told us last year about your strategic estimate. Can you give us an update on that strategic estimate in the Arctic?
Absolutely, sir. So I did a strategic estimate. Out of that strategic estimate, I have directed my two-star planner to provide a mission analysis. As I've said to people, we've had our toes in the sand. It's time to put our feet in the snow, and it's time to understand more and more what's going on up there. So out of that mission analysis, we're going to do a couple of exercises. We did a Vigilant Shield last fall. We're going to do an Arctic Edge, and we'll be able to understand certain tasks out of that. But at the same time, we know that we need to look at the infrastructure, the communications, and the domain awareness to understand what's happening.
Both of you, very quickly, I have limited time. Our strength against these near-peer competitors is our network of allies. And I know Secretary of State Tillerson has talked about that actively. Secretary Mattis has talked about that actively. In your AORs, what are we doing with our allies to help leverage our military expenses and capabilities? Admiral, you want to address that quickly?
We are working together to help train them. We are building their capabilities in the areas that they are most interested in, and we are showing by our actions that we trust them.
And if I can tell you, earlier this year, Secretary Mattis held a North America Defense Ministerial with Canada, the United States, and Mexico to talk about how do we, the three of us, work together to show that we have the longest borders in the world and that we're a shining beacon of trust and cooperation.
Thank you both. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.